Hey guys, this is Boricua Binks and welcome back to Let's Play 999. In the last episode, we finished off in the operating room with Junpei, Clover, and Seven. Yes, I almost said Akane. And the puzzles weren't that hard, and we had to hear a lot of story time from first Seven and then from Clover. And we were able to get through to her when she was at the lowest point of the low. But what she said kind of made Junpei a little nervous, and it made me a little uncomfortable too, because she's thinking that her brother's dead, and she's saying that maybe she's next. So I don't know. But yeah, we also reunited with the other group, so let's see what happens next. Even without looking around, each one of them knew where they were. They were just where the map had said they would be. The same room they'd been in not so very long ago. Oh boy. All that whole thing about sacrificing Ace for nothing. They're screwed. The tremendous central hospital room with empty beds from wall to wall. Oh boy.
I see. I believe I understand what you're saying. The 6 of you split into 2 teams and went through doors 7 and 8. You solved the puzzles in the operating room and the laboratory.
Ooh, so either way I would have gotten to do something science-y.
And then met one another in the hallway after opening your respective locked doors.
He looked like anyone might after only just waking up, but it seemed that his brain was working as well as ever. He had managed to grasp, summarize, and understand each team's report.
At any rate, I feel a bit silly for my little show of altruism. I'm sure you'll be back for me. I did hope you would come back, but I confess I didn't think you'd be back so soon.
Ace shook his head with a rueful smile.
Well, we saw each other again, and we ain't dead, so I say that's good enough.
Seven smiled. I like Seven.
Anyway, I say we get out of this creepy old place. We found the key we need.
That's true.
The key? Ain't that what I just said? I'm talking about the Jupiter key. We found it in the operating room. Right, Junpei?
Junpei nodded. Ah, the solar system keys. Actually, we found one in the laboratory too. Oh. Here, the Earth key. I had a weird accent right there. It's because of Seven. Lotus dug out a still warm key with an Earth symbol on it. I might lose it. It's probably better if you hold on to it. That way it won't be my fault if it gets lost. And with that, she pressed it into Junpei's hand. How convenient, thank you! He felt slightly less than honored. As a group, they now had 3 keys that had not been used. Okay, the Jupiter key, which had been found in the operating room. Oh, the Saturn key card, which had been found in the kitchen. The Earth key, which Lotus had just handed to Junpei. Junpei tucked the new keys into his pocket. June spoke up. The Jupiter key is supposed to be for the door at the end of that long, straight hallway, right?
Yeah. If the map's right, then it connects to the central staircase. Then, next to the stairs...
Wait! They were the first words anyone had heard out of Clover in quite some time. Her face suggested they weren't going to be very happy words. What about door 3?
Look, you saw the map, right? It's the same as 7 and 8. It just lead us back to the big hospital room. There's no point to seeing what's on the other side of that door.
There is a point. At least there is for me. There were tears in her eyes, but she glared at Seven as hard as she could, just the same. She looked very much like a frightened puppy. There wasn't a man alive who could have resisted those eyes. Seven looked everywhere in the room except at Clover, and muttered and coughed apologies under his breath.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Snake might be on the other side of door 3.
Clover nodded once. The next person to speak was Ace.
Very well. I'll be coming with you then. I've had a nice long rest. I think it's time I was up and about again. So, 7, you'll help me, won't you? Huh? Me?
Junpei did the calculations quickly in his head. So it would be Clover, Ace, and 7, 12, yep, 3. It looked like 7 was doing them too. At last he gave up.
Damn. Well, I guess that's how it's gotta be. So I'm going with you, huh? Yes, you are. Alright, let's get moving.
And so it was decided that Clover, Ace, and 7 would discover what lay beyond door 3. Okay, let's see if they find him.
Okay, we're heading out.
Be careful.
Whoa, didn't think I'd be hearing that from you, Lotus.
Don't tell me you have a heart now. Don't let it go to your head. I'd be in trouble if the 3 of you bought it. The rest of us can't open the 9 door. Of course, she's being selfish.
Ah, the truth comes out.
7 nodded as if this answer made much more sense and pulled the lever on the red. They have a silly dynamic. I kinda ship them.
Okay, let's go.
The door opened and Ace, Clover, and 7 jumped through it. 6, 7, 8. After exactly 9 seconds, the door closed noisily. Alright, we should get moving too.
Huh?
Get moving?
Where are we going?
Everyone except Lotus seemed rather confused. Well, it would be a waste of time to just sit around, wouldn't it? Let me explain. I get it. We're gonna see if we can get anywhere interesting with the Jupiter key. Yes. If we're lucky, we might find Snake. I guess so, because the other people are going to be taking a while, so why not? They were at the end of the hallway lined by individual hospital rooms. The Jupiter symbol was engraved on the keyhole. All right, Junpei. Open it if you please. Fine, Your Highness.
Yeah, on it.
Junpei pulled the Jupiter key out of his pocket and slid it into the keyhole. He twisted. With a nice sharp click, he felt the door unlock.
All right, ready, guys?
Junpei's companions nodded. He nodded back, then slowly and quietly opened the door. So, what's up? Central staircase again? Yep. Inside was exactly what he expected to see from the map of the ship's interior. They were in a tremendous hall, almost like a ballroom, with a massive central staircase.
Great. Back to the beginning. You sure this is a good idea? What do you mean? Well, we already searched every inch of this room, didn't we? I'm asking you if there's any reason we came back here.
Of course there's a reason.
Of course there's a reason. Man, sometimes I can't tell if you're smart or just lucky. Huh? This.
Junpei pulled 2 things out of his pockets. The Saturn key card and the other key, the Earth key. Santa cocked his head to one side like an inquisitive bird and looked at them. After several long moments, during which it became apparent that Santa had no idea what the cards meant. Really? June took pity on him. Don't you remember, Santa? On C deck, where we are now, there was a big elevator behind the stairs, remember? And next to the elevator, there was a card reader with the Saturn symbol on it. And on A deck, on the door to the left, there was a keyhole with the Earth symbol on it, I think. Yeah. So, the 2 keys that Junpei has
should let us use the elevator and the door on A deck, huh?
Yes, that's right. June smiled, pleased with herself. So did Santa.
All right, I got it. Let's get started then. What do you say we split into 2 teams? Lotus and I will search the Earth one, so you 2 can search Saturn, all right? Sounds good.
Junpei handed the Earth key to Santa. They decided that their initial search should be brief, only 10 minutes. They'd meet back near the staircase once they were done. Junpei and June headed for the elevators. Sure enough, there was a card reader bolted to the wall next to the left elevator. He lined up the Saturn key card and swiped it through the reader. A light on the upper left corner blinked to life.
Great. Looks like it's working now.
All right, now how do I call the elevator? There was a single button to the right of the elevator door. On the button was the upside-down triangle, the universal symbol for down. There didn't appear to be an up button. Junpei pushed it. He didn't have much of a choice. Okie dokie. It opened! Oh wow, I've been recording for a while now, so I think I'm losing my voice. This is going to probably be the last episode for a while. Look, Jumpy! June's voice was excited, but Junpei could hear a tinge of anxiety.
Sweet, it opened. Let's get going.
He grinned at June and stepped forward toward the open door. As he was about to set foot in it, he felt a hand on his arm. Wait!
What?
I'm not really, I just, oh gosh. Junpei was at something of a loss. What could she possibly be so frightened of? June was probably afraid of being locked up alone with a boy. I'm sure that's not the correct answer, but why not? After a little thought, Junpei decided that she had to be nervous about being locked up in such a small space alone with a boy. In a way, it was kind of cute. Very demure, you could say, he thought. Still, even though it wasn't exactly roomy in the elevator, they weren't going to be pressed up against one another. At least they didn't have to be. Uh-oh, pervert Junpei! Oh boy. Still, it was making her nervous. Junpei couldn't help but think how innocent she was. Come on, let's go. Again he stepped toward the elevator. And again he felt himself restrained. I said wait a minute!
Why?
Aren't you afraid, Jumpy?
Afraid of what?
Well, I've never... you know...
What? She'd never been in an elevator with a man alone before? Even so, she still seemed awfully alarmed.
I might get wet.
Excuse me? What? I completely forgot about this whole dialogue. What?
Down there, I'd get soaking wet.
Oh my god. Why is this happening? Why? Oh, I should not have chosen this. Oh god. My LP is going to rated R now. Oh my god. Oh, I do not condone this. Well, I mean, of course you would. That's the way it works. At least you understand that, Junpei. I mean, I've never heard of anyone getting soaking wet somewhere else.
That's true. You don't mind?
Mind what?
Getting wet?
Well, I don't know. I think I'd probably, you know, like it. I can't. I can't. This is killing me. Oh, God. Why did I choose this option? Oh. Dirty, dirty, dirty.
Gosh, Jumpy, you're so brave.
I can't even voice act the way I want to because I'm laughing so hard. Oh. Really? I mean, I kind of think any guy would do the same thing, you know? What happens, happens, right? If you get the chance, you just gotta go for it. That's what a man's supposed to do, I guess.
You're so cool, Jumpy. I really admire you.
That doesn't really seem like the sort of thing you ought to admire someone for.
I'm really scared.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you've never done it before.
Yes. So I don't think I'll be able to last very long, and then it'll be over.
Over?
Yes. I'll go to heaven.
What? My god, this conversation! What? Heaven?
It feels kind of like you're floating in space and your mind gets all fuzzy, like when you pass out. At least that's what I've heard from people who have experienced it.
Yes, I've heard that too. Oh god, please make this conversation stop. I can't. Oh gosh, I can't. It's killing me. Although, I don't think the same thing happens to guys.
What?
Huh?
But it would happen to men too, wouldn't it? It would happen to anyone. Once it gets into your body, the same thing happens to everyone.
Well, I mean... Oh god. Usually it doesn't go inside the man, unless you're gay. Okay, oh god, stop. Stop, game, stop. I mean, generally.
Yes, it does. Well, eventually it will. It's not like you really have a choice.
Oh, why won't the game just quit while it's sad? Oh god, I can't. This episode's gonna be the death of me. What am I gonna title this? I don't even know.
Your body will force you to swallow some of it, eventually.
Oh my god! Okay, be mature adult beings. Just get through this. What are you trying to do to me?
Nothing. I'm not going to do anything to you. I'm just saying that that's what happens. It's a psychological reaction to what you're experiencing.
Was that really how it happened? It occurred to Junpei that perhaps that was how it worked. Perhaps he'd been mistaken all these years. Had he misunderstood life so gravely? The thought terrified him. June seemed to be entirely oblivious to Junpei's mounting confusion and terror. Oh god.
I know most men probably have larger lungs, but even then, I don't think you could hold your breath for 20 or even 10 minutes. Eventually, you'd have to breathe, and then the water would get into your lungs. Once that happens, your body won't be able to get oxygen anymore, and you'll start to feel that floaty feeling as you pass out.
Yeah. Junpei, are you starting to realize what's really going on here? Oh boy. Finally, Junpei understood. He understood what June was trying to say and why she was so scared. Why couldn't she just say it? My god, this is ridiculous. Yeah, you're right. You wouldn't last very long.
See?
She was afraid that the only elevator button pointed down. That meant, of course, that the elevator couldn't go any higher than the floor they were on. As he thought about it, Junpei realized he hadn't seen elevators on the A or B decks near the central staircase, all of which meant that the elevator could only convey them to the lower decks. And the floor below the one they were on, D deck, should be completely submerged. That meant... Hey, wait a minute. This elevator came up from somewhere under us, right?
Well, yes, I guess it did. It didn't open right away after you pressed the button. There was a motor noise, like it was moving, and then it opened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So, take a look inside. Junpei jerked his head toward the interior of the elevator. It's not wet at all, is it? The walls and even the floor are totally dry.
Oh, you're right, they are.
Common sense, people, common sense. She looked around the elevator, slightly embarrassed. Well, let's test it.
Test it?
Yeah, watch this.
Junpei put one foot in the elevator and bent around the corner of the door until he could see the floor buttons. There were only two, E and C. He pushed the E button and jumped out of the elevator. The door slid shut and they heard the grinding of the motor as the elevator car moved down. They just wasted so much time they could have been exploring. Man, that whole conversation was hilarious and crazy and oh my gosh. A few moments later, they heard the sound of the elevator door grinding open several floors below. Junpei nodded to June and pressed the elevator button again. A few moments later, the elevator returned. Yep. Totally dry. The door slid open, and just as Junpei had expected, there was no water to be found.
See?
Oh, my throat is really going shot now. Junpei couldn't resist puffing out his chest just a little bit. June, however, still looked confused.
What does that mean? How can the E deck be safe if the D deck is full of water?
Well, here's what I think. The elevator shaft and E deck must be watertight and separated from wherever the ship's been punctured.
Here, let me show you.
He pulled out his notebook and pen and sketched out a rough illustration. Interesting.
I see. So, is that why the ship hasn't sunk? The shape of the inside keeps it from all filling with water.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on.
Junpei continued talking as he closed the notebook. Where did he get that from? And slipped it back into his pocket.
So, I'm gonna go down and check it out. You should stay here, alright?
But...
Come on, just do it, alright?
He gave June's shoulder a reassuring squeeze and hopped into the elevator. He pushed the E button and the door began to close. June looked worried, her eyes darting back and forth as if she was trying to make a decision when suddenly...
I'm coming with you.
Huh?
At the last possible moment, June dashed forward, turning sideways just in time to slip through the gap between the closing doors. Junpei jammed his finger against the open button, but it was too late. Really? Being overdramatic as usual. The door had shut. He and June were in the elevator and it was headed down to E deck. He was so surprised by June that he didn't even have time to think about what awaited him on the E deck. The elevator stopped and the doors slid open. They stepped off onto the floor outside the elevator. Nothing seemed especially unusual. No fish going about their fishy business, or jellyfish floating lazily through the water. There was, however, a blowfish, or at least something that looked very much like one. June's cheeks were puffed out, and her mouth a tiny, intense frown.
Oh, knock it off. It's just like I thought. This part hasn't flooded. Come on, just look around. There's no water here.
June looked around nervously, then exhaled. She's so stupid.
You're right. It's not flooded at all.
See?
But there's a whole lot of water.
Yeah, right on top of us.
What's going to happen if the ceiling breaks?
Junpei thought about that for a moment.
Well, we'd probably get really wet. Up there.
Huh?
Really, Junpei? Let it go. At any rate, we should probably go back as soon as we can once we're done looking around down here. Lotus and Santa might already be back.
Okay. Good idea.
Junpei glanced around the room they'd found themselves in. Okay, another gate. First thing he noticed was a set of thick iron bars. They ran the length of the room, separating the left elevator from the right one.
Well, we can't go over there.
Right.
Then perhaps... In the corner of the room that housed the elevators, Junpei found an opening. He walked up to it and stuck his head around the corner. Oh. Kind of creepy down there. A long straight hallway stretched out in front of him.
That door at the end of the hallway? There's something written on it.
Yeah, let's go have a look.
Come on, you can see from there. June and Junpei set off down the hallway at a brisk clip somewhere between a run and a jog. Before long, they found themselves in front of the door. On it was a number written in bright red paint. 6. It's June's number.
I knew it.
This is a numbered door.
And indeed, there was a red bolted to the wall right next to the door. Of course, with only 2 people, there wasn't much they could do with it.
All right, let's head back.
Yes.
Junpei and June turned and headed back to C Deck. On their way back, Junpei noticed a map on the wall. As it turned out, it was a burnt map of the ship's interior for E Deck. Burnt, huh? What time am I at? Alright, so that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this. And in the next episode, we're going to see what Lotus and Santa found. Okay? So, until next time, have a nice day. Bye-bye!